I'll never forget the night I found him. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth. As I hurried along the narrow footpath leading home, I had just returned from the night market, my basket heavy with fresh vegetables. The road was lonely, the only sounds coming from the rustling leaves and the distant hoots of an owl. Then I heard it. A cry, weak, desperate. I froze. My heart pounded in my chest as I listened carefully. The sound was coming from the bushes. For a moment, fear gripped me. What if it was a trick? What if it was something unnatural? But I heard it again, a baby's cry. I dropped my basket and rushed towards the sound, pushing aside thick leaves with trembling hands. And there, wrapped in a thin, dirty cloth, was a tiny baby. His face scrunched up as he cried weakly. His skin was cold, his little body frail. My breath caught. Who would have abandoned a child like this, in the middle of a bush? I looked around, expecting to see someone lurking in the shadows, but there was no one, just me, the child, and the cruel night. Something inside me clenched. I couldn't walk away. I wouldn't. Carefully, I scooped the baby into my arms, cradling him close to my chest. He whimpered, his tiny fingers curling against my skin, as if he knew, somehow, that I was his only chance of survival. At that moment, I made a decision that would change both of our lives forever. I will raise him as my own. I named him Daniel. The first few weeks were tough. I was a widow with no children of my own, and raising a newborn wasn't easy. The sleepless nights, the endless crying, and I thought I would lose my mind. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Daniel became my world. He grew into a strong, healthy boy, full of life and laughter. People in the neighborhood whispered about him. They said I was foolish for taking in a child who wasn't mine. What if his real mother comes back one day? Mama Nkechi once asked, shaking her head. She won't, I replied firmly. A mother who abandons her baby in the bush doesn't deserve him. I believed those words with all my heart. Years passed, and Daniel flourished. I worked day and night, doing everything from selling food at the market to running errands just to give him a good life. And Daniel, he never let me down. By the time he was 25, he had become a force to be reckoned with, a brilliant entrepreneur, the CEO of one of the fastest growing tech companies in Nigeria. Everything I am today is because of you, Mama, he will always say. You saved me, and I will smile, my heart full. But just when I thought we had left the past behind, she came back, the woman who abandoned him, and she wanted him back.